Hello and welcome to the Literary Lair, and to the second week of Classic Novel Month 2. This week we are going to touch on a story from my freshman year of high school that I was assigned to read by my favorite English teacher, Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. And hello to all you high schoolers looking to watch this for the plot so you don't have to read it. Read the book. Reading gives you knowledge.
Because knowledge is power.
You know, there was another book I read that year with a different teacher, but I think I repressed it. Anyway, let's get right to it. The story opens during the Great Depression. Two migrant farmers, George Milton, an intelligent but uneducated man, and Lennie Small, a man of large stature and great strength but limited mental capacity, are on their way to another part of California in Soledad. They hope to one day attain their shared dream of settling down on their own piece of land. This is the American dream, to be able to own their own land, which was hard to do during the Depression because no one had any money. Lennie's part of the dream is merely to tend to and tuck soft rabbits on the farm. The dream is one of Lennie's favorite stories, which George constantly retells. They are fleeing from their previous employment in Weed, California, when they are run out of town after Lennie's love of stroking soft things resulted in an accusation of attempted rape when he touched a young woman's dress and would not let go. Come on, Lennie, why couldn't you just let it go? Yes, that was totally necessary. I have to make at least one cheesy joke for each video this month. It soon becomes clear that the two are close friends, and George is Lennie's protector. The theme of friendship is a constant throughout the story. Because, despite what Lennie does, George stays with him because they're pals. At the ranch, the situation appears to be menacing and dangerous, especially when the pair are confronted by Curly, the boss's small-statured, aggressive son with an inferiority complex who dislikes larger men, leaving the gentle giant Lennie potentially vulnerable. 'Cause, you know, Napoleon complex. Even though Napoleon was average height for his time. Curly's flirtatious and provocative wife, to whom Lennie is instantly attracted to, poses a problem as well. Little known fact, the wife, she doesn't have a name. She's known only as Curly's wife, and that's probably because she didn't need to be distinguished due to her being the only female character in the story, everyone else being male and so needs names to distinguish them from each other. In sharp contrast to Mr. and Mrs. Curly, the pair also meet Slim, the kind, intelligent, and intuitive jerk-line Skinner whose dog has recently had a litter of puppies. Slim gives a puppy to Lennie, who likes to pet it since puppies are like rabbits. In spite of the potential problems on the ranch, their dream leaps toward reality when Candy, the aged, one-handed ranch hand, offers to pitch in with George and Lennie so that they can buy a farm at the end of the month, in return for permission to live with them on it, which they're totally cool with. The trio are ecstatic, but their joy is overshadowed when Curly attacks Lennie. In response, Lennie, urged on by George, catches Curly's fist and crushes it, reminding the group that there are still obstacles to overcome before their goal can be reached. which was the scene from the film that's in the intro for Classic Novel Month 2.
You'll kill him if you fight back. George, make him stop! Put your hands up, Lennie. Fight him, why don't you, Lennie? George! George! Fight him, Lennie! Get him, Lennie! I say get him! Don't let him do that to you, Lennie! Get him, get him!
Nevertheless, George feels more relaxed since the dream seems just within their grasp, to the extent that he even leaves Lennie behind on the ranch when he goes out into town with the other ranch hands. Which was a bad idea. Lennie wanders into the stable and chats with Crooks, the bitter yet educated stable buck who is isolated from the other workers because he's black. Since, Great Depression, racism, the usual for stories from this time period. Candy finds them and they discuss their plans for the farm with Crooks, who cannot resist asking them if he can hoe a garden patch on the farm, despite scorning the possibility of achieving the dream. Curly's wife makes another appearance and flirts with the men, especially Lennie. However, her spiteful side is shown when she belittles them and is especially harsh towards Crooks because of his race, threatening to have him lynched. Whoa! This might just be my modern mentality, but that's a little much. Lennie accidentally kills his puppy while stroking it. Curly's wife enters the barn and tries to speak to Lennie, admitting that she is lonely and how her dreams of becoming a movie star are crushed, revealing the reason she flirts with the ranch hands, because she feels like she's unwanted since Hollywood didn't want her. Almost makes me feel bad for her. But I don't because of that lynching comment from before. I will say, however, that if this story took place today, she'd probably have a decently viewed YouTube channel. After finding out that Lennie loves stroking soft things, she offers to let him stroke her hair, but panics and begins to scream when she feels his strength. Lennie becomes frightened and in the scuffle unintentionally breaks her neck, and unlike Superman doing it to Zod, this was accidental. When the other ranch hands find the corpse, George unhappily realizes that their dream is at an end. George hurries away to find Lennie, hoping he will be at the meeting place they designated at the start of the novella, in case Lennie got into trouble, knowing that there is only one thing to do to save Lennie from the painful death that Curly's lynch mob intends to deliver. George meets Lennie at the designated place, the same spot they camped out in the night before they came out to the ranch. The two sit together and George retells the beloved story of the bright future that they will have, knowing it will be something that they cannot share. He then shoots Lennie in the back of the head so that his death will be painless and happy. Curly, Slim, and Carlson find George seconds after the shooting. Only Slim realizes that George killed Lennie out of love, and gently and consolingly leads him away, while Curly and Carlson look on, unable to comprehend the subdued mood of the two men. And that was Of Mice and Men. It's a great story with a sad ending, if it wasn't spoiled for you. I give this a stamp of must read. It's a classic, and if you weren't forced to read it in school, it's still worth your time. And as for adaptations, there's the 1939 film starring the Penguin and the son of the Phantom of the Opera, or the 1992 film starring John Malkovich and Gary Sinise. Tell me about the shrimp, Lieutenant Dan. So, next time we'll be reading something by an author we've already talked about once on this show. See you then.